Good evening, I'm Richard Rogers.
And I'm Laura Warren. Thanks for joining us. News 12 is on your side, tracking storms dumping a lot of water across the two states.
So let's check in right away with Chief Meteorologist Kevin Coskren with details on where the worst of the rain is right now.
Well, right now, Richard, it's really overspreading the region. We've got wet streets across the CSRA. Our live eye camera, Wheeler Road and I-20. It's a mess out there, and it's only going to get worse tonight. The worst of the rain is actually happening right now. Take a look at this feed of moisture from our southeast all the way into northern parts of the News 12 viewing area. This has been looking like this really all day to our east, and now it's really overspread the region. Parts of even Richmond and Columbia County have been in on the rain as well. Aiken County, you had it earlier in the eastern part of the county, and now it's really overspreading the region. And there's the connection, the tropical connection from Charleston right up the gut, right up into northern parts of the News 12 viewing area. There are a couple of flash flood warnings to tell you about right now. We've got one in Allendale County and also several to the east. Those are in effect until 2 a.m. Remember, never try to drive through a flooded road. Flash flood warnings will probably be firing for the rest of the night because we have a flash flood watch in effect for the region until 8 a.m. on Monday morning. We're going to turn it over to News 12 meteorologist Scott Roberts to tell you how much rain has already fallen across the region.
All right, yeah, there's no doubt about it that the focal point for the heaviest rainfall today has been in the Charleston area. That's where we've seen the highest rainfall estimates based upon Doppler radars. We can see that a little bit closer, over 10 inches reported just to the north of there. Although for one-day totals, we were looking at some records down there, over a foot of rain for a few spots and 5 inches just outside of Aiken there reported. And closer a little bit to the metro there, you can see rainfall estimates off to the west have been considerably less, so just about an inch just to the north of Thompson. But in Aiken County, 5.5 inches near Wagner, and just outside there to the northwest of Orangeburg, 5.5 inches estimated. We're just going to be adding to that over the next several hours. Here are some projections from Futurecast. Looks like we're going to be looking at 4 to 8 inches across the CSRA for parts of the CSRA either, but the further south and east and south and west you go from, say, Augusta, that's where you'll be looking at the lowest of rainfall amounts. But it looks like the focal point for the highest rainfall is still going to be in along the Savannah River and eastward and northward. Coming up in the next forecast, we're going to take a neighborhood by neighborhood look at projections for what we can expect for rainfall. We'll have that coming up in just a few moments. Richard?
Scott, thanks to you. And Kevin, if you noticed our live shot from Wheeler Road a minute ago, you could tell that rain is creating slick roads all across the area, Georgia and South Carolina. In fact, right now, North Augusta public safety crews are looking into a crash on Edgefield Road.
Right, lots of cars moving around an accident after a few cars crashed there. News 12's Lindsay Tooman kicks off our storm team coverage with what you need to know before you hit those wet roads. Lindsay.
Laura, that accident, as you can see, has been cleared up, but the investigator on the scene said he expects to see much more of that tonight. As you can see, the roads here are definitely seeing the effects of that rain. I must be walking through at least 6 inches of it. I'm in a parking lot right under Edgefield Road, which is where that accident happened, and they are expecting to see more of this tonight. Georgia DOT and South Carolina both on full alert for road closures throughout the entire night tonight, and they are aware that these roads are getting flooded, so you need to be careful, especially if you're driving. It's dark outside, the still water piles up, it's difficult to see, so if you do need to be on the road, drive very slowly because the standing water can be a major danger for driving and for walking through it. So please be careful if you're out on the roads tonight. And if you need to be, please check our website for a full list of road closures and also tips to keep you safe during this nasty weather we're having. So everybody stay dry, stay safe, and try to stay off the road. We will be continuing our team coverage on this severe weather. Live in North Augusta, Lindsay Tooman, News 12.
All right, Lindsay, thanks a lot. South Carolina feeling the worst effects from the storm tonight with more than 5,000 power outages across the state, many of them concentrated in Charleston. News 12's Preston Willard is live in Aiken for us. And Preston, how's downtown looking there?
Well, Richard, it is absolutely pouring now. That rain that we've been looking for all day, well, it's here now. And I can look around and many of the streets are already beginning to pool up. The state raised the emergency level up earlier tonight, but Aiken County maintained a lower level but said they would remain on call in case this weather took a turn for worse, which it looks like it has now. SCDOT has been patrolling the streets all day and will be continuing that throughout, looking for any road closures. There's none at this time. Emergency management says the rain is not the only problem they are worried about, though.
National Weather Service is calling up for up to 30-mile-an-hour wind gusts Sunday night. So if the ground is saturated as it is, we may have trees and power lines down. So that's something to certainly watch out for.
Few power outages and fallen trees have actually been reported so far, but as this rain continues to pick up, it will loosen that ground, and with the wind gusts coming in, that could actually loosen up some of these trees and power lines. Overall, not a lot of cars downtown right now. It's kind of lighting up as the has gone on, but emergency management says drivers should remain cautious, as if they do use the roads today, they urge them not to, but if they are on the roads, watch out for puddles. You don't know how deep they could be. And if you could look around with me right now, it's starting to pick up big time down here in downtown Aiken. Live in downtown Aiken, Preston Willett, News 12.
We'll try to find a warm towel for you. Preston's looking a little soaked out there. Thanks for that. While South Carolina got hit with the most rain so far this weekend, things are not exactly dry on the Georgia side of the river either. News 12's Alma McCarty is live in Augusta as our team coverage continues. Alma, what are you seeing out there?
Laura, I'm in some of the worst areas of flooding. You know, in Augusta, there's not a lot of flooding right now within the city, but there are a few areas prone to it. For example, I'm on Broad and Frank Street, and when I arrived here, there was more of a puddle than there is now. It's pretty much rushing into the storm drain. But there are some other areas around the Augusta area you might want to look out for as far as flooding. We're talking major creeks, those could overflow. Windsor Springs, Meadowbrook area, Lumpkin Road and Mike Paget, Hyde Park, Gordon Highway and Peach Orchard, East Augusta near May Park, Walton Way, and pretty much all of downtown. And this comes from the Augusta leaders. They sent this out on Friday. And also Laney Walker by Augusta University, that's another spot that you might want to look out for. Now, earlier today, I was in Columbia County, and not too much of a rain event over there. There were periods of heavier rains, but that cleared up pretty fast, transitioning into a drizzle. Pam Tucker with Columbia County EMA says about 3/4 of an inch was measured from 5 p.m. Friday to 5 p.m. today. Now, that's not a whole lot, especially over a 24-hour period, but she says overnight we could have 4 inches. EMA also tells folks to expect creeks to rise, and we might see some winds pick up almost 30 miles per hour. Now, EMA officials and county officials are continuing to monitor any changes in the weather, but Pam Tucker recently just let us know that there's nothing to really worry about at the moment. She said nothing has been reported in Columbia County, and I've driven through Augusta. There's some flooding on the sides of the roads, kind of just near the culverts, but everything seems to be going into the storm drains as it should be. Now, it's dark. It's raining, and it will keep going overnight, so watch out for those flooded roads. And if you don't think that you can cross over safely, then it's probably best for you to turn around and find another way. And Tucker also says to keep up those phones charged, because you might want to get updates throughout the night and into the morning. And we'll keep you posted online and on News 12. Live in Augusta, Alma McCarty, News 12.
Alma, good to see the traffic there moving behind you, and the storm drains are keeping up so far. That is a good report. We've also been getting some reports of flooding along sections of Earhart Road in Bamberg County. EMA directors say portions of that road are closed right now. I'm going to show you some video of some standing water we saw earlier in Aiken County earlier today at New Holland Mennonite Church in Batesburg. EMA workers have been monitoring water levels also along New Lakeshore Drive in Aiken.
Things are much worse, though, in Charleston, where they closed the peninsula to traffic this morning because of all of the flooding. It's been a steady downpour there. At last check, Charleston International Airport reported record-breaking rain totals. More than 13 inches of rain since Thursday. Add in the highest tides they've seen in more than 25 years, and you get this big mess and a little bit of canoeing down streets.
Yeah, people are creative when they have to be. Meanwhile, areas to the north, they're waterlogged as well as Hurricane Joaquin begins spinning north tonight. It's the same situation in parts of North Carolina. Heavy flooding and rain that's falling there as well. So far, 2 people have died in the Carolinas. One woman drowned in her car. Another died after a tree fell on her.
We do have flood warnings right now, primarily in the southeastern part of the state and in the far southwestern part of the state, something we didn't expect 2 days ago.
Meanwhile, the Coast Guard is dealing with another emergency, that missing cargo ship that has 28 Americans on board and 5 Polish nationals along with them. The El Fargo disappeared near the Bahamas while en route to Jacksonville, Florida from Puerto Rico in the path of Hurricane Joaquin, right there in the Bermuda Triangle. The Coast Guard found a life ring from that missing cargo ship, but so far, nothing else.
Well, guys, the garden hose from the Atlantic Ocean is turned on full blast, and you can see it streaming in here from the southeast to the northwest. We're going to have heavy rain in pockets for the rest of the night. Could be a lot of rain to measure by tomorrow morning. Could last through much of the day tomorrow as well. Details coming up.
And Richmond County deputies are investigating a woman hit by a car on Laney Welker Boulevard. An update on that case coming up.